Did that fucking thing? Yeah, no shit. I'm dead. Very good. For a game made by pretty much one person. Absolutely fantastic. It definitely has some sour points in it. My biggest issue with Fear and Hunger is that it feels like 90% gotcha moments. Like, don't get me wrong. Every single one of those gotcha moments are completely avoidable. And usually, players do. But like, it feels like it's just like punishing you for being this, like really, really. Which, I mean, that's true to the game's nature, I suppose. So I can't complain about it too much. But like, it's just sometimes it gets so cruel to the point where, and that's where problematic. Another thing too, the game is so focused on being so cruel that it forgets how to actually be like a good game sometimes. Like, I really enjoy puzzle-like nature of the encounters, but to be frank with you, these puzzles are not very in depth. 99% of enemies simply have like a weapon in each arm, and then if you remove both of those arms, the enemy can't do fucking anything. You know what I mean? That's it. That was the extent of the puzzle. Just hit their arms. You learn that from like the very first prison guard in the game, and then it never really evolves beyond that, and it's a little bit disappointing. Because I feel like in a game with like such creativity of like a multi-limb encounter experience, it feels like the fights themselves are super limited. Like the moonless guards at the end of the game in the gauntlet are almost identical to the guards that you at the beginning of the game. And I get it, there's no level up system or anything like that, so you can't like afford to make the enemies complex because the game won't be able to know that you're ready for that. But in a game like Fear and Hunger, where everything is so unnecessarily cruel anyways, it feels a little bit redundant to hold back on that. Also, the bosses, because they are playing behind like the same logic, are also like really underwhelming too. White Angel, fucking Francis, the dude with the penis out of the brain. Like those bosses really aren't like all that interesting. The one that is like the coolest one to me is the final boss. Obviously, that's I actually think that encounter's pretty good. And Tormented One, who I really wish Tormented One was animated to make it easier as to what the hell was going on with his chains, but I like Tormented One. And then that leaves me with and then the Crow Mauler, the scary Crow Mauler. Crow Mauler's only scary because he has two instant attacks. I don't think having two attacks necessarily makes for an intriguing fight when you go fight him, because it's either a stomp in your favor or it's a stomp in his favor, and that's kind of like the whole shebang with Fear and Hunger. There's very little room for like a middle ground. Because either you are fucking decimating the enemy and you're immune to everything that they do, or they just hit you with a crippling effect that you can't handle. You know, limb loss, uh, blindness. That's like only like and and of course like the game has balancing problems. The Salmon Snake Soul is absolutely insane. Pheromones is a fucking crazy spell that pretty much just like you can redirect everything to just one character for the rest of the game. Crazy. Sorcerer's Stone like completely ruins like 90% of like the mind management the game has, since you can just grind infinite mana between characters effectively and you don't have to worry about that mechanic at all. Uh and like I'm sure there's a million other ways that you could break the game down. Which means that honestly, the scariest part about playing Fear and Hunger is just the overworld. Because the overworld, when you're actually in battle and you're prepared, you're pretty much invincible. But when you are in the overworld, that's when you get hit by, you know, spikes, darts, fucking traps. The Gauntlet's cool. I think the Gauntlet is a very cool final area to the game. I think it was pretty much, it was very tense. I think it was a great ending, and I think the final boss was great as well. I think that all around the game had great, like the beginning of the game is like very decrepit, and then they hit you with basically, the Anne Orlando at the midpoint where you go around fighting the new gods, and then you end off at the gauntlet. I think it's got a great rhythm to its experience. So like I can't really complain about that. Again, for a game designed by one person, absolutely fantastic. Um it's like incredible. This entire thing. But yeah, it just feels like it's sometimes just a bit too cruel, and it doesn't and it sometimes just isn't allowed to be as fun as it should be. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I think I made my points across for the most part. There's a bunch of other things that I didn't do. I didn't do the obviously I only got to the end of the gauntlet that one time, so I'm not going back to fight Gorgoroth, even though I know he's tougher than God of Fear. I don't want to bother, and I'm not playing it on the harder difficulty Terror and Starvation either, because I don't think that's gonna fix my issues with the game. I think it's just gonna exaggerate the problems that I have with it. I'm not playing through the whole game again just to fight Sylvain. I'm good. Although I do think that is a very enticing reward for playing the whole experience over again. One last thing I want to mention is that my experience is a little bit tainted, because I knew a lot about Fear and Hunger before I even started playing the game. So I was able to avoid a lot of those traps that the game kind of tricks you with. And because of that, my experience was a bit better as a result, but also a little bit more hollow, because I didn't truly overcome everything. Could I, honest to God, have beaten this game going into it with zero knowledge? I don't know. I would like to consider myself a generally good, player of video games. But Fear and Hunger is pretty fucking vague in point of progression. So I don't know if I'd be. Oh, there is one last thing though. Is the fucking empty scroll. We're not working on this playthrough for some reason. I know that they're incredibly broken already, but I tried using them to just get save points. I got a couple of key points, and they failed every single time. Oh lord, don't give me enlightenment, I suppose. But yeah, it's tough. I think if I had to just give one snippet review for somebody who's about to start the game, I would say it is brutal, vague, and can be absolutely draining. But it can also be very rewarding to overcome things. That'd be my snippet to give them. Okay, also, one last thing, I kind of hate how your party members have zero in this game. You get Lagarde, only ability is Leg Sweep. No level ups. The other way you can teach him any scroll applies to every fucking get Harm, and his only ability is dash. And why? Or maybe I gave him a scroll for that, and that was funny. But why does he have dash when he's not the main character? He can't use that. And then I don't know what the fuck Ragnvald is. Maybe Enki would be cool, because maybe he would actually have some spells in his base kit. I don't fucking know. But I didn't know. I had no idea how you recruit. But all around fantastic. I know. Oh, fucking! I gotta mention this shit. The goddamn save system in this game sucks so much ass. I don't care about the fact that you have to do a coin flip before you rest. That's fair enough. But I do think it is incredibly stupid that you have to do that coin flip even if the goddamn area that you're in is empty, and even if nothing will wake you up if you fail the coin flip. That is just tedious. That is annoying. I failed a coin flip 9 times trying to go to bed in a safe room. Holy shit, that is annoying. If there is no enemies in the room, it should not coin. Or it should spawn something in that gives no reward if you fail the coin flip. One or the other, not that middle ground. I think the far better thing is to just not do the coin flip save thing on the bed, unless it's code or whatever. Because that's what I'm talking about, where the game just so focused on being cruel that it stops being fun. Becomes too tedious. Also, fuck Helm Splitter on the White Angel. Incredibly stupid. I hate that there are coin flip attacks that you know are coming, and you can guard them. You can stun the fucking, like, the blade on White Angel, and then he still does them. And if you're unlucky, you still die. I remember one time I beat the Tormented one, and I went out and I fought White Angel. I stunned the last sword blade that he had left. I guarded on the guard who was his target. I used my lucky coin too, and didn't fucking matter. I failed the lucky coin thing. My main character, like the character who was essential to my party, died. I had to restart the game and play 30 minutes. That's the type of shit that is so fucking annoying. Like, you feel like you do everything right for the most part, and then you still get punished for it. It's like incredibly frustrating. And like, I can't really lie, that definitely sours the experience. What else is there? Oh yeah, things are like, sometimes it feels like I'm actually, I'm done. I'm done rattling on. All around, solid. For a game made by one person, a solid 10 out of 10. I don't think it really could get much better. I feel like you did the absolute... Like, maybe 10 out of 10 should be reserved for the sequel. I never played the sequel. Based on what I've seen, it just seems to be Fear and Hunger better. And more, like, focused on being a fun experience. Not that it's not, like, grim, dark as fuck, but, like, more focused on being a good game rather than, like, being unnecessarily cool. But... for a game made by one person, 10 out of 10. Absolutely fantastic. Kicks anything I could ever make into the dust. Fantastic job. Or if I'm just rating it as a game in general, out of all games, like an 8, maybe. An 8. Or like maybe a 9. My biggest problem is that the game is like loaded with replayability, but like replayability for what? Normally when you want to replay a game, there's like usually like a moment that you want to get to again for the fun of it. But like, what is that moment in this game, you know? Like, what? Like, the only thing I could think of is like going back to fight like the final bosses, but like having to play the whole game just to face off against like Yellow King or Sylvain or Gorgoroth. Like, I ain't doing that. I ain't slogging through the goddamn thing again just for that. Now, to be frank, there's a lot of ways to... I'm rambling on and on and on. Holy shit. Enough. Fantastic game. If you like horror RPGs, if you like getting your balls crushed, play it, and play it blind if you can. Probably can't do it anymore because you just watched this video. But, you only saw one of the final bosses, so... Isn't that much spoiler. There's a sequel. The sequel is awesome from what I've heard. They're working on a big update for it too, which is the reason why I played this game, so that when the sequel update drops, I'll go into line, and so, you know, I get my balls crushed, you know, live with everything else. Fear and Hunger, fantastic game. Thank you, Miro. Your game. I'm glad I was able to pay you for it, on the website. That's all. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye-bye.